Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Whiskey Wednesdays, a show where we review and discuss various topics regarding D&D as suggested by you and the... I don't have my whiskey! Fuck! Okay, everybody, mingle. I'll be back.
This never happened.
Yeah. This has never happened before. I'm an Irishman. I forgot my liquor. What the fuck? I'll be back. Entertain people.
That escalated quickly.
Uh,
Well, at least it wasn't the sound this time.
welcome to Wawa.
Wait, is there sound? Did someone check?
Did
Hello?
we make sure we have sound?
Yeah, we have sound. Okay, we're good. Listen, stream. We are super coordinated all the fucking time. You have no idea. Oh, good. Everyone
Anyway,
just take a deep breath.
So everyone excited for Christmas?
Yeah, I'm gonna have my Christmas this weekend. That's why I'm gonna be gone.
Nice.
Yep. Gotta travel all the way to the boonies.
I'm sure you are thrilled.
Oh, those plane tickets cost so much money.
Well, that's what you get for living in the boonies.
I didn't choose. I was born there.
You chose to exist. As a baby, you could have chose not to exist. But you defied the will of
Look,
the
I
child.
tried. There were a couple of near-death experiences as a child. I tried, okay?
You didn't try hard enough.
That dang dog always saved me.
Listen here.
I'm not
Lassie's
joking about
gonna
that.
save you.
Our
Don't
family
jump down
dog
the well.
actually saved me from death multiple times.
Fucking dogs!
Well, there you go, old yeller.
It was a yellow lab.
I mean, there you go.
Hello, Vile.
Hello.
I know not.
Hey,
to
hi.
this Vile.
We're on cord.
I don't know
It's
either.
the-
Who is?
All right,
It's the
sound off.
community.
Who's dead?
Ah.
Me!
We're good. We survived.
I completely forgot I hadn't gotten that yet. With like 20 minutes left to go, I decided that Kifhack needed a Santa hat since he runs the place. And I finished that at like right at 6:30 and got it uploaded. And then I realized I don't have my alcohol. But hey, at least the audio works.
Ew.
So this is Whiskey Wednesdays, where the show lasts as long as it takes for me to drink at least a glass of whiskey, which I'm trying a brand new bottle of Bruichladdich. So, oh, that's good. That's strong. Holy fuck, that's strong. So,
Review. It's strong.
end the stream. We're done. So I am joined tonight by Metal, playing as Kifhack, the bartender with the little Santa hat on, little squid guy. We've got Kirsten, she also plays Kasumi in our D&D session. She's a little kitsune there.
Hello.
We got Brick, or Zeke, as the toaster. Makes sense if you listen
All
to the
humans
podcast.
must die.
Exterminate!
I'm not a human. I don't count.
Pez, our resident
Delete.
kobold, hugging the
Delete.
moss.
Hello, I'm sick.
Yeah,
Okay.
he recaught whatever he had before, so he's gonna be super bassy.
You caught the game.
And then we have Zach, aka Zon, the bunny munching on the carrot.
Yes. Or I eat the carrots.
So tonight we
A
will
special
be.
guest.
We also have special guests.
Do we? Oh shit! I didn't see that Violet pop back in. Hello. So
Yeah, hi. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk.
you're absolutely
Yeah,
allowed
go
to
for it.
talk.
Anytime.
You are not allowed to speak in our presence. Be gone. No, yeah, you're totally fine.
So I don't have a little chat avatar on the stream for Vile, but maybe one day I'll be able to get a default one ready for everybody. So for those of you watching us live, Whiskey Wednesdays will be in podcast form and VOD form the week after we air, which will be next Wednesday. Our podcast is on most major platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Samsung Podcasts. If you're watching this on Twitch and we're not on a podcast service that you enjoyed, let me know and I'll get that sorted. If you haven't already and you would like to join in our conversations as we do Whiskey Wednesdays, please join the Discord. And even if you don't want to join the conversations, I don't know why the hell are you even in here then. But you're free to join the Discord whenever you want. You can lurk, you can join in and play games with us. We've been on a pretty big Valheim kick here recently.
So good.
But yeah, any and all are welcome. if you like what we do and you would like to donate, please consider our coffee page. All proceeds from the donations go towards making Fools and Flagons a better experience. It helps keep the podcast alive and well. And yeah, that's pretty much all I spend the money on is podcast and, oh yeah, Sirenscape too. All the music we use during the sessions. But enough of all the boring shit. Let's get into the cool shit. So first, I want to address something from the last session that we had. Cullen from Heartleaf Games, the people who made this amazing module, prim and properly called me out for kind of poking fun at a particular Homeland feature of the Equins, where it just, to me, since I haven't read the book, it's a big book, there's so much in it, it's so good, but it talks about vampires, and it just felt so out of left field. And he's like, well, you know, if you read the vampire part of the lore, it fucking makes sense. And I was like, okay, fair point. And to be fair, I read it, and it's pretty dope. Like, the lore that they've got behind the vampires is a really, really unique twist to it. It's not the vampires that you would expect. It's not like, oh, there's one Dracula and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's in depth, and it's got some great in-depth rules for characters that want to play as offspring for these things. So maybe we'll cover that. Huh?
And now we get Ian going on YouTube, posting a video titled "We're Sorry," and then
I am not doing an apology video. But no, it's very, very cool. If anyone listening to this, if any of this sounds interesting, please go and check it out. It's called The Delver's Guide to Beast World. It's fucking phenomenal. And I just keep getting more and more excited to read more. So two things that I do kind of want to cover, again, like we did the last time, to just give you kind of some really quick FAQs about some of the races in here. The first one is, do beasts have paws or hands and feet? And the 5e game system requires hands, so we assume that beasts have hands. Canonically, some of the beasts have foot paws and digigrade legs. Some beasts have human legs and feet. Out of character, what goes on in your character's shoes is your business. There's also, I'm trying to think the best way to describe this. There's willful beasts, which are the upright, sentient ones that we're going to be covering. And then there's the... While you're in here, can you help me out? I can't remember the exact terminology for, like, the regular sheep. I think hold on.
It's quiet-minded.
Quiet-minded. I just scrolled to that page. Thank you. The quiet-minded beasts are the ones that are not sentient. There are regular wolves and cows and things of that nature. So the little snippet, vegetarian beasts, the uplifted beasts are more human-like than animal-like. All beasts are omnivores, and there's no social stigma attached to eating meat. But vegetarians are more common in the beast world than in our own. In particular, one of the races we're going to be starting with, the sheep are the most likely species to adopt a plant-based diet. So, it's not going to be like Pokemon where the meat is just this random mystery shit. Like, you know they're killing Pidgeys and Magikarp to get those things. They just don't say it.
The mystery shit.
What? You can go have the school mystery meat. I'm not going to stop you.
Yay.
I'm just chucking a block of spam at him.
The whole can.
I'm being spammed.
Real quick, I just want to say, I think it's hilarious that we have, amazingly, one of the people from this book in here, and we just kind of like, he's in the back room somewhere, and we're like, hey Vile, what is this thing? He's just, I just can see like his little character, whatever we make it, like popping out from behind the bar. We're like, it's this. Thank you,
I'll
Vile.
grab.
Okay, bye.
And the phone a friend option.
If I had enough time, I would make one of the wood planks behind here as like a secret trapdoor, and it just swings open.
Hawks.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's
So-
not there.
With all of that being said, let's get started, because we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 more races to go through. And if you thought the first 8 were crazy, hopefully we will end on some really, really cool ones for this. So, the first one up, we've got the Ovine. They are basically sheep people. Again, I'm not going to go terribly deep into the lore because there's just too much, and we would be here until well past midnight going over all of it. So we're basically
Till
going
the
to
cows
touch.
come home.
Back to
Also,
the
I just
kitchen
wanna
with you.
I just want to say, as these are sheep people, if there's not a bad pun in here, I'm going to be upset.
You know what? I'll let you handle that for me.
When you come to visit us, I will kill you.
So, they are humanoid. Their wisdom score increases by 2. They have a 30-foot walking speed, and they also have the March on Hooves feature that we had talked about before, where you have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid suffering exhaustion from a forced march. A forced march is essentially, the basic rules are a player character can travel for 8 hours at their normal walking speed. Every hour after that you want to walk, you have to make a Constitution save, I believe. And it's a DC plus however many hours you are progressing. So it starts out as a DC 11, then another hour, DC 12, and so on and so on. This gives you advantage in avoiding that. You've also got the efficient metabolism. Ovines can eat a wide variety of foods that are unpalatable to other species. You can joyfully sustain yourself indefinitely on any green vegetation. Now, what I'm curious about this is it says unpalatable to other species. Are we kind of leaning into the goat realm where, the stereotypical, like, just give it a can of beans and it'll just go to town? But it does seem like it does clarify with you can survive on pretty much any green vegetation, which, some animals may not be able to survive off of pine needles, but theoretically, I guess ovines could.
You're the dandelion of the
dandelion.
the animal world. Just survive on anything.
Just cut to an ovine chewing on some, like, poison ivy. It's like, is that safe? It's like, it tastes fine.
I don't know. Give us a kiss.
Ugh, no, God, why?
So this one, I'm actually kind of sad that Kayla's not in here because she I think would absolutely love this class for this one alone. This feature is called Mind for Beasts. You can comprehend and verbally communicate with all beasts. Their knowledge and awareness is limited by their intelligence, but at a minimum, animals can give information about what they've seen within the past 24 hours. You might also be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the GM's discretion. Additionally, you can cast the Animal Messenger spell as a second-level spell once with this trait, and regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Wisdom is your spellcasting ability for this. So,
That's pretty fucking useful.
yeah, well, it is until you realize that they can talk to every creature all the time without casting a spell, which means that kind of explains why they're vegetarians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, you said that that's the reason why it would interest Kayla, not the fact that it's a fluffy sheep.
Well, I'm getting to the other thing that she would really enjoy, especially playing with you, Zach.
Oh, boy.
So actually, I wanted to get this meme. Let me get this real quick before I talk about it, just for general reference. And I'll even show it on stream when I get to it. But the next feature is really fucking cool. But also, it kind of terrifies me as a DM because now I have to start thinking about shit like this. So it's called Shepherd Step. The steep hills of the world have been your playground since you took your first steps. On anything other than a sheer vertical surface, you have a climbing speed of 15 feet and your hands remain free while you do so.
Jesus.
So I'm going to share this.
It's
oh
over,
god,
Anakin.
it's way too big. Hold on. Sorry, let me.
I think I know what you're about to link.
Oh, this one.
Hold on.
I see it on the stream being
Yeah,
cropped.
I'm fixing it on the night. Bear with me.
Technical difficulties.
Well, I mean, the last time I used it for the stream, it was for a full page. So, but yeah, it's like a JoJo goat reference where he's going after the burglar frog. He's like, "Huh, this wall is 92 degrees," and he just starts walking up it with his hands in his pockets. So, while it is a very, very cool trait, it terrifies me as a DM because now I have to start thinking like, this motherfucker's going to ask me if the wall's vertical, like every single room that he goes into. And I'm going to have to either make a dice roll or just start making notes. Like, oh yeah, when you were walking in here, you realized that the grade was like 5 degrees to the southeast. So you could definitely walk on that wall.
it eventually gets to a point where you're just like, no, 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 it is straight 90 degree. It is straight up vertical. It is slanted inward. You cannot climb this.
You were trying to walk on a window. Stop it. But
Some villain up on a cliff is like, "Ha! You can't get me now!" Just starts sprinting up the cliff.
That gumball meme where he's just running with malicious intent.
Well, now the thing here is that with climbing speed, I don't believe that you can. Well, no, actually, you can use the dash action for movement, so you could technically run up a wall, I guess. Oh, that hurts my brain.
Just
No,
imagine if
I
it's
don't.
a freaking rogue.
Oh, or a monk.
That's just bonus action
Oh, a monk.
dash.
That's actually, well,
Actually, I think monks get to, at certain levels, get to travel up sheer surfaces anyway.
Well-
They just can't stay. Actually, ooh, that creates
No,
an interesting
they
point with
can-
Shepherd's Step.
actually, that would be really dope. They use their bonus action. I know the one you're talking about. They can move their movement speed up a vertical surface so long as they don't stop. So that's 30 feet straight up, and then just go dash their climbing speed. Just.
I'm coming for you.
I'm going to get you. Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. So, moving a little bit further, as a sheep, you have a charisma score increase of +1. Your size is medium, and you stand anywhere between 4 feet 11 inches and 5 feet 11 inches. This is the other one that I think 90% of the people, 100% of the people would love this one. Inner Spark. Ovine wool gives a friend a little shock, but with a bit of practice, they can be honed into something extraordinary. Whenever you deal lightning damage to a creature, the creature takes an extra 1d4 lightning damage.
Oh my god.
So I'm going to
love
share
it.
something else to the stream.
Oh no.
Touchy, touchy. Now, while
really
it's not
like-
necessarily the most powerful thing in the world, the roleplay potential is just really fucking silly. And I'm all about it.
I actually really like this, especially for the lower levels, because if you're a lower level spellcaster and like he's almost dead, it might give you that extra little oomph just to push them over the edge, especially at those
Dude,
lower levels.
As I always say, damage is damage.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to start incorporating static shocked fucking door handles, just like you take one. Take one lightning damage.
Thank God Zach's a heron gun and not one of these, or I'd be having a lot more trouble.
Oh, don't worry.
A lot more.
Here,
guns.
no. I'll do you one better.
Ills on and see what happens.
Shit!
Dead silence from the DM. It's just like, I didn't think of this.
I'm just gonna sip my whiskey and move on. So, we're gonna scooch on into homeland traits. Like I said in the last session, some of these are very specific to the module itself because it deals with the regions of the Beast World. Some of these can very much be used in any sort of campaign setting. And again, I'm going to be skipping some of the lore behind it, so some of them may not make sense right off the bat. The first homeland trait, Shepherds on the Green. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon with the Reach property and roll the maximum value on any of the weapon's damage dice, you can also attempt to knock the target down so long as the target is large or smaller. It can make a dexterity saving throw or a strength saving throw, their choice, with a DC equal to 8 plus your attack bonus with the weapon. So, yeah,
Damn.
basically, if you just have anything, the thing there is that it has to be something with reach. So, like a 10-foot reach.
I think the two common weapons are what, a glaive and maybe a whip.
A glaive and a whip, yeah. That might be it.
Yeah, I think
I'd
there's
have
a
to-
couple of pole arms.
Would you mind
or-
looking that up while I move on to the next one, just because my own
Absolutely.
curiosity?
Yeah.
The next one we have is Self-Sufficient Herder. You automatically succeed on Constitution saving throws made to survive in extreme cold weather. Additionally, you have proficiency in survival, and you know one cantrip of your choice from the Druid spell list. Wisdom is your spellcasting modifier for it.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said Constitution saving throws, I was just like, "Oh my!" And they're also good against spellcasters. And then you said against weather. I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah. The next one we've got is underestimated. This one's actually really, really, really interesting for roleplay aspects. So whenever you make a deception check against a creature with an intelligence score of 13 or more, you are treated as proficient, and your proficiency bonus is doubled for the check. So basically, you're this cute as a button little sheep thing. It's like, there's no way this could lie to me. Look at it. And you're just through your teeth lying to these
I
people.
like how it specifies that you're treated as proficient, so you can't abuse it if you have expertise, because that would be fucking
Well,
ogres.
So actually, that does.
but the
bring up a
thing
good
says the
question. What if you're
proficiency bonus is
proficient?
doubled for the check. You're basically giving
Treated
them
as proficient.
expertise with deception. That's basically what this is saying.
Yeah, Zach, to answer your question, whether you're proficient, not proficient, or expertise, half proficient, anything, you are considered proficient, and your proficiency bonus is doubled for the check.
Neat.
Also, Ian, I have an answer for you.
Go for it.
So, there are a couple of different pole arms. They're basically all the same thing. It's just whatever kind of spin you want to put on it. Glaive, pike, halberd. They're all the same damage and all that stuff. The two ones that stand out are the lance, which is the only.
The mounted weapon.
Yeah, it is a mounted weapon. You can use it unmounted. It just has a couple of limitations with it. And then there's also the whip, which is also the only reach weapon that has finesse. Although I would be interested to see if because of that feature they came up with any different weapons of reach for this module.
That'd be interesting.
Man, if only we knew somebody who knew the answer to that question.
Oh!
It's not me. I don't know.
I just actually about that is a question. Do you guys have any like equipment / weapons added for this module at all?
New magic weapons. Not so much new base weapons, just because the bases are kind of covered. Any new base weapon you can add would kind of just be a reskin to something else. You know what I mean?
That is on our docket of things to go over eventually. We actually had a poll. If you're interested in choosing what we talk about, we have a chat in here for Whiskey Wednesdays where you can suggest things, and the races were chosen as the first thing to go over. So once we're done covering this, I'm going to put the poll up again, and we'll see what happens next. Thank you, Nim.
Let's say races do not disappoint.
So, scooching right along, we've got find a friend in fauna. My num's getting tongue with this stuff. Good God.
Wow.
I'll read this one then. If you spend
alright.
1 minute studying your surroundings, you can discern the type and number of the highest challenge rating beast within 1 mile, as well as the direction to their location. You also know whether the creatures were forced to move unexpectedly, such as to flee a predator or intruder. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. This has been Kifax reading Find a Friend in Fauna.
Thank you,
All
Kip.
right.
So again, a little bit more roleplay heavy, but if you are playing in a campaign where you are searching for creatures and doing a bunch of quests like that, this is a very, very good. It's like a weaker version of what is it called? Primal Awareness that the Rangers have.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh.
I could also see this being used very well, especially in a campaign like ours where there's a lot of dinosaurs roaming around. It's like, we don't really know which way to go. Let's see if there's anything nearby that's going to eat us.
well, now it doesn't say
Yeah.
what it is. It says the highest creature rating. So all you would know is that it's a CR3 something.
You can discern the type and number of the highest CRBs. Now, I wonder
I'm going to shut my dirty whore mouth.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, well, if you really think about it, if you're sent to hunt a dangerous creature or something like that, usually a dangerous creature is going to be a little bit higher on the totem pole when it comes to that kind of a rating. So
True, but as an example, if you guys decided to not take the road from Crossroads to Mail Glen and you wanted to try to cut through the trees, having someone with this ability, like every few minutes or so, well, actually, long rest, so you could only do it once a day, but for at least a mile, you could be like, oh, there's something big over there, versus, like, nah, there's nothing. They're all tiny.
hey guys, you see over there? Yeah, damn's over there.
This damn. Okay. The last one for the Ovine, we have the School Teacher. When you cast the spell Animal Messenger on creatures that live in water, you can affect a number of creatures with the spell equal to your proficiency bonus. You can specify a different message and destination for each creature affected this way.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's
So
good.
now keep in mind, it's only in
Aquaman.
the water.
Yeah, you're Aquaman.
Well, I mean, not technically incorrect.
Where's the
Aqua
line?
Sheep? But still, again, a very, very cool feature that's maybe a little situational, but again, if you know what kind of campaign setting you're going to be going into, that's fucking phenomenal.
To be fair, anybody who has the knowledge that they need to put themselves in a preferable situation can use something regardless of how niche it is.
Very true. I would love the idea of someone just having a goldfish in a plastic bag, whisper a message to him and say, hey, can you take this, here?
Yes.
Be free.
The goldfish will be set free to pass on your message.
I interject
Hey,
real
did you
quick.
get my message?
Yeah,
no, I
sure.
never got it. Oh,
Please.
no.
I went through the book. I control F the word weapon because I'd feel really bad if I was wrong about picking no base weapons. And there is one new base weapon.
Oh.
It's on page 44, field darts. It's lawn darts.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay,
1d2
now-
piercing, ammunition, rage 10-20. Just so you
Now,
know.
here's my question. You said lawn darts. Lawn darts are traditionally thrown straight up into the air and hope to God it doesn't land on your own head.
Fortunately, not this time. They throw at a distance.
Okay. Just checking, because I don't have any scatter dice anymore. I had them for Warhammer 40k. I don't know where they are. I'm not ready to start that shit again.
If only you knew somebody with 1,600 D6s and scatter die.
I just pictured someone just like riding into battle and then just fucking mortar striking people with lawn darts.
You're on the back of this horse and you just yeet, yeet, yeet. Good luck, everybody else. Yeet.
We're being chased. What do we do? I got an idea.
Pappy taught me this one. Yeet!
Oh, man, back in the day when you could just let your kids out the front door and say, be back when the porch lights come on or you ain't getting dinner.
Drink from the hose.
Moving on, we have the Tenebrine, I believe is how it's pronounced. They are the raccoons and the possums. These are the ones that I referenced in the last session where these are kind of the outcasts. They are the more or less the creatures of the night. They're more nocturnal. They can see better in the dark. And because of that, they kind of have this social stigma of kind of like in Zootopia with what's his face, the fox. Yeah, where it's just like, oh, well, you guys are only out at night and you skulk around everywhere. Clearly, you're the bad guy. Blah, 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 blah. But I also feel that these ones are very good for roleplay aspects, and you'll see some of these when we get into the homeland traits and some of the other features that they have. So the basic Tenebrine traits, your dexterity scores increase by 2. You have a walking speed of 30. You have dark vision. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. You cannot discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. That's actually something that I'm just now realizing. Compared to most of the normal D&D races, hardly any of the races in this module have dark vision.
Yeah.
Whereas the basic races, there's only like 2 or 3 that don't. It's like Dragonborn, humans, and halflings? Halflings.
Yeah, I suppose with a lore centered around like dungeons and stuff, You would have to really be selective about who gets dark vision, and especially in like the animal kingdom, some of them stand out as like, yeah, obviously they would have dark vision.
Yeah, totally. I'm not complaining. It's just an observation that I actually like this, where
Yeah, I love it.
it's not just a blanket feature that's just been given to, everything but 3.
Yeah.
It's interesting though because although you're talking about the blanket statement, it's a lot of these don't have reasons to have dark vision, whereas elves kind of have night vision, dwarves have tunnel vision. It's all these stuff is like it's almost the exact flip opposite. It's like they have no reason to have it.
I know, but
No,
with that particular argument though, if you're looking at Dragonborn, dragons have night vision and fucking true sight, but Dragonborn don't.
True.
It seems a little. It's interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to contradict you. I was just saying
No,
it's an
I
interesting.
don't consider it a contradiction. It's an addition to our argument as a whole. I
Also, you're a
appreciate you,
bitch.
Toaster. Now flip over. You're burning one side. Hit.
I love how it actually reacts because it's tied to his voice indicator.
Yeah.
Flip.
Maybe I need to make that a GIF where the toast pops out and spins around and lands back in again.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
All right, future project. Remind me, I'll do it later.
Project for future use.
So, when I don't have 15 minutes before the stream starts. Pristine Blooded is the next trait that we have. All Tenebrines are blessed with a supernatural immunity to sickness. You are immune to magical and non-magical diseases. Sorry, you cannot be a werewolf, possum, or raccoon. Additionally, this one's actually really interesting. A creature injected with at least a pint of your blood has advantage on their next Constitution saving throw to resist or overcome a disease in the next 24 hours. Losing a pint of blood inflicts 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's gotta be some underground smuggling ring of just of like blood donors.
Tenebrine blood black market. Jesus.
Yeah.
You say blood donors. You assume it was donated.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, this is grade A, totally legit Tenebrine blood right here. It's not. It's
Grass-fed.
fine. Grass-fed. Free range.
Then you have to discern what's actually blood and what's snake oil.
Oh, God, imagine. No, what? No, don't imagine. We're just going to move on to Urbanite's Fortune. This one's very cool. And actually, you guys may have made use of this in Mail. Well, I don't know if Mailglen was 10,000 people, but either Tenebrines are drawn to cities because they are luckier there, or Tenebrines are luckier in cities because it's where they're drawn to. While in a city with more than 10,000 people, you can re-roll one attack roll, ability check, or saving throw that you dislike. You must use the second roll. Once you use this trait, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest. So theoretically, Kasumi, had you been in a bigger town and had this trait, you might have gotten away with assaulting the Chamberlain.
Listen, I don't like how you guys use the word assault. It wasn't assault.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's called a
viciously
reminder.
attacked. You viciously attacked him. My bad. I'm sorry, Kasumi.
I was just
That's
pointing
not
my
fair.
finger in his face. That's
Maliciously.
people are so offended nowadays.
So easily offended.
So touchy.
Touchy.
So, just so you know, if you were to ever do that to me in the actual life, I'd take your finger from you. You would lose finger privileges.
Can confirm he bruised my finger once because I decided to test that statement.
By accident.
Well,
That was an
mhm.
accident.
Sure it was.
Noted.
I believe them.
So, the first of the Tenebrine races is the Raccoon. With the Raccoon, you get a Charisma score increase of 1. They are about 5 to 6 feet tall. You're still a medium creature. The feature that they have is Think with your hands. Raccoons have a brilliant tactile sense and can feel out the function of a mechanism. If you use an action to run your fingers over the teeth of a key, for the next 7 days you have advantage on dexterity checks made to open its lock. Additionally, you automatically pass dexterity checks made to open a lock you've opened before with a dexterity check.
That's fucking amazing.
That's wild. So basically, during the day, you just go and check a door real quick, and you unlock it, and then you lock it back. Like, all right, guys, we'll come back at midnight, and you just pop, done, in.
Not to mention, like, you're scoping out a place. I wonder how it would work. Like, if you're like just perusing, you're prowling in the middle of the day, you see someone with hefty looking pockets, you see keys hanging on their pockets, you just like brush by them, just kind of like see what their keys like.
Yeah.
Hail them after.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you'd have to make a really successful sleight of hand check, but I mean, if you're playing a raccoon with a +2 dex and you're a rogue with reliable talent and probably... Kirsten, what's your modifier now? Like fucking +10, +11 at this point?
It depends, but it's +12.
+12? Okay, yeah, you'd be fine. Rogues, man. Next up, we've got the possum. Their ability score increase is strength. It goes up by 1. You are much larger and bulkier than the raccoons. You stand anywhere between 5'8" and 7 feet tall. You are still a medium creature. This one's very interesting. Below the belt, possums can sweep their long tails to pull the legs out from unsuspecting foes. When you are hidden from a creature no more than one size category larger and within 5 feet of you, you can use a bonus action to make an athletics or acrobatics check. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw with a DC equal to your ability check or be knocked prone. It's basically a strength contest, but it's giving you an option between athletics and acrobatics, which is dex and strength. Additionally, your melee weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 damage against prone creatures. So basically, you're hitting them, you're just thumping them with your tail while they're down, is the way I'm imagining it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, I see it as like an initiate, just kind of like, he doesn't notice you, you're just like, all right, jump him. Jump him.
that's going to be the trick, is you have to be hidden from the creature, which, again, if you're playing these guys, you're probably going to be a rogue, I would guess. I'm stereotyping the stereotype.
Damn.
Yep. Anywho, a lot of their homeland traits seem to be very much more roleplay centric, and some of them are... They confused me on first reading, and I had to go back and kind of like start over once I kind of read everything, so we'll see how this goes. The first one is Dittoed Rumors. You have proficiency with the forgery kit. Additionally, when you make a deception check to impersonate someone, you are treated as proficient and add double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. That one's pretty flat simple. You just go like, ah yes, I am Kip Hack. This one, the mosquito in the crowd is a phenomenal skill. So when you make a stealth check to hide in a crowd, you are treated as proficient and add double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. Additionally, when you hit a creature with a dagger or short sword while hidden, you can choose to delay any damage or effect of the attack until the start of your next turn. The creature only becomes aware of the attack when the effects occur. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish long rest. You basically just Assassin's Creed this dude in the kidneys and walk off. And he's like, huh, what was that? Ow!
I fucking love that. Just my spleen!
Yeah, it's... Again, I feel like that's a little bit more roleplay heavy. Maybe more the subterfuge campaigns. I don't know how well it would work. Now, granted, if Kasumi had had this, she could have shanked the Chamberlain and just walked away and gotten away with it scot-free. And, like, properly assaulted him. And to her own words.
What fucking half-ass shit,
never.
Kasumi? Bullshit.
She would
Listen, I never thought that you would have done what you done did.
Listen,
Yeah, exactly.
there were reasons.
She's defending me for some
We're not going to let
strange
you
reason.
live this down.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, this is the one that I think confused me upon first reading, and I apologize if I kind of flubbed some of this. Many Tenebrines make their way as street performers. You can throw your voice, choosing to make your words sound like they are coming from any point up to 60 feet away from you. Additionally, if you fail a sleight of hand check, you can improvise a misdirection based on the size of your audience to add a bonus to the roll equal to the number of creatures other than you watching the attempt, maximum of +5. potentially turning a failure into a success. Once you add a bonus this way, you can't do so until you finish a long rest. So basically,
Okay.
I believe that's if you fail, so long as there are other people watching you do this and you're making a show of it. So like if you just are trying to be sneaky and you're trying to pick someone's pocket, you would not get this. But if you're making a show of it and you're just like talking to the crowd and other people are watching you, then I believe that's when you would add that potential bonus to your roll, depending on how many people are observing this quote unquote show. Kind of like when you're, watching a professional magician pickpocket kind of person. It's like, hey, look at that over there. And he's like waggling your watch behind your head.
It's very.
I just love the fact that even if you're hiding it, you can just tell your party, "Hey, watch me go pickpocket this guy."
That's interesting. It doesn't say that it can't be friendly targets. Interesting. I feel like that's going to have to be dependent on your DM, how they want to interpret the rules. Because it does say, based on the side of your audience, if you've got a party of 6, that's a +5. It's like you're all just sitting there just...
They do say,
just watching
freeze the crowd.
I also think that one just sounds very opening of Road to El Dorado, where they're playing the dice in the streets. It's like, oh no, it's you!
And he just starts shredding on the ukulele. Oh man, I love that scene. Locking eyes and just. This next one is also pretty interesting. Stash Finder. You have advantage on investigation checks to find hidden spaces in brick and stone. Again, very situational. Additionally, when you make a sleight of hand check to hide an object on your person, you are treated as proficient and add double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. So again, basically, it's like, what watch?
I love it. It's just I love everything about these Lieutenant Brian.
And it looks like last but not least, we have the training of privilege. You were blessed in your early life with a few knowledgeable acquaintances eager to do you a favor. You are proficient in one skill or with one tool of your choice, taught for free by this eager tutor. Additionally, you have practice putting on airs, whether you actually grew up drowning in money or not. When you make an ability check to convince someone you meet of your wealth, you can choose to treat the D20 result as 15. You must decide to do so before making the roll, and this ability can only be used the first time you meet someone. First impressions are easier to mislead. Again, situational, probably great for more roleplay heavy campaigns versus combat. I don't think you convincing a purple worm that you're rich is going to do shit for you.
Could do something for a dragon, though.
It could. Well, it could do something for a dragon. They could just kidnap you harder.
I'll be back with the money, I promise.
And just like, all right, you meet a Tarask climbing over the mountains. Wait. Does he know I'm rich?
I'm rich, you know.
I'm gonna kill you. Wait a minute. I'm rich. Because that will stop that from happening. Just means you're gonna die a liar. Just put in your gravestone. Said he was rich.
Yep. So that does it for the Tenebrine. We're moving on to the Ursine. These guys are really kind of cool. They kind of have, and I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit here, but they kind of have what is currently the Keen Mind feature. Which, if one D&D goes the way that it's going and they don't change the current Keen Mind, this is probably going to be the only way that you can get it. Rich with the experience of death. Nailed it. He bought his way to an early grave. So the Ursine are bears. You are still humanoid. Your constitution score goes up by 2. You have 30 feet of walking. And here's the thing. You have eidetic memory. Bears have uncanny memories that trap and store every detail. You can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard. There's no time frame here, just period. Additionally, When you make a strength or dexterity saving throw against a creature's non-magical ability, you have advantage on saving throws against future uses of that ability by the same creature. So basically, if a creature hits you with a melee attack that requires you to save, like being knocked prone by a bull or whatever, if they try to hit you with it again, you have advantage because you've seen it, you understand it, you've memorized it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This next one's a little bit more complicated, but on the inverse of being non-magical, this is basically for spells. So, Mnemonic Mind. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you casts a spell that's on your spell list, you can use your reaction to commit it to memory. You can visit an arcane library or university within the next 7 days to research the memory and learn to cast the spell. Doing so requires 8 hours of research per level of the spell. If you are adding the spell to a spell book, you must pay double the cost of copying it from a scroll. When you finish the research, make an Arcana check with a DC equal to 10 plus the spell's level. If you succeed on the check, you add the spell to your spells known or copy it into your spell book as if you had access to a scroll. If you use this trait to add a spell to your spells known, any previous spells added this way are lost. So basically what this is saying, normally as a wizard, you would have to find a spell scroll and then copy it to your spell book. In this instance, you just see somebody casting like Fireball and you go, I want that.
I want it, VH.
Yeah, you kind of have two options here. You can either add it to your spells known at basically no cost, but if you do this again, you lose that spell. Or double the cost that you would normally do if it were a spell scroll, and it's added to your book, you've got it permanently. So, if you're poor, it's a good temporary. But I mean, generally speaking, by the time you get some really cool spells that you may not have immediate access to, you're probably loaded. Let's be fair.
This is also an interesting ability for non-spellbook casters like sorcerers or warlocks, because they could do that, and for them, they don't have to spend the money because they're not copying it to a spell book, so they just have to go do the time and research, and they can keep the one they like, and then if they see something like that's a lot better, they can just, if they can get to that library or university, switch it out.
Correct. Yeah. And just adding on to that to make sure that people listening understand, if you do that and you're not copying it to a spell book, whatever you had previously, gone.
Yeah.
There is no Ike.
It's very I mean, it's similar to like in D&D or in a game switching out a weapon. Like, okay, this weapon's not as useful anymore, so I'm switching it out for this one.
But you also theoretically don't spend 8 hours shopping for a sword.
Sure.
Well, depending on your group. Don't get any ideas. So, as a bear, your intelligence score goes up by 1. You are still considered medium, but you're also, a little bit more bulky. You're a fucking bear. You're anywhere from 5'2" to 7'2". You also have the skill called Toughen Up. This one is really fucking cool. So the endurance of your progenitors runs in your blood, giving you the ability to steel yourself in a fight. When you roll initiative, you can also spend a number of hit dice up to half your level, rounded down, minimum of 1. When you spend hit dice this way, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the total rolled without adding your constitution modifier. These last for 10 minutes. So basically when you start a fight, if you're level 12, you are rolling 6 of your hit dice and you get temporary hit points. If you're a barbarian with D12s, fuck. You ain't dying.
Barbarian?
Barbarian? Now that's an interesting question. What if you are an Earth sign, but you're also pulling the Moon Circle Druid Barbarian combo?
Oh.
That's a lot of fucking health.
Especially at those higher levels when you can turn into an elemental.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's dirty.
That stuff.
Shut
Pay
up,
attention
Ninja
or
Kid.
shut up. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. No, I don't know what this thing you're talking. Like, I know the race, but
So,
like the
the
class
general-
you're talking about, I have no idea.
The general premise behind Circle of the Moon Druid Barbarian combo is the Circle of the Moon can transform into
Okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I
you can
gotcha.
turn into a bear, but you can also rage. So you're a bear with double the hit points so long as it's not magical attacks. And then when you run out of bear, you go, oh no! Well, I'm still raging with a lot of fucking hit points. Come at me, bitch.
I mean, wouldn't you be able to also do that in bear form?
What? Rage? Yeah, that's the point.
The health point. No, the health point thing.
The temporary hit points?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even including the temporary hit points. I'm just talking about, like, right now what that combo is. You go into a bear, which has a huge health pool, and then you rage. And once that health pool of the bear wears down, you pop back into your normal form with all of your normal hit points, and then you just rage, and you've got double your hit points. Or you fucking turn back into a bear if you have enough uses of it.
Okay.
So, the first homeland trait of the Earth sign is Spirited Discourse. You can substitute intelligence in place of charisma for any performance or persuasion check. Additionally, as a reaction to another creature within 30 feet of you failing a saving throw to avoid becoming charmed, you can speak an encouraging word. When you do, the creature can immediately make the saving throw again. Once you use this trait, you cannot use it until you finish a long rest. So basically, you see your buddy getting charmed, you go, don't fucking do it. And they get to reroll. They go, oh man, you're right. I never thought of it like that before.
Hold him back from the brink by telling him, don't.
Just don't. Don't.
Stop.
Stop it.
Hear about that movie Crack Bear? You gonna star in it? You do this.
Oh God. This next one is it's different. Obsidian Bauble. You have proficiency with smith's tools. If you have access to a forge and a chunk of obsidian, you can spend 8 hours and 30 gold pieces working with your smith's tools to create a small bauble, such as a brooch or a handheld toy. The bauble is an uncommon magical item. Any creature can touch the bauble while casting a first level spell, which has no effect other than to be stored in the item. As an action, the creature holding the bauble can cast a spell. This removes the spell and destroys the bauble.
That's cute.
It's basically just a really cheap first level spell scroll. In a good way.
Yeah.
This next feature is super short. It's called Rules Lawyer. You can choose 2 first level spells. Those spells are on every class's spell list for you.
Actually.
Actually, I do have access to, the next feature we have is Born of the Bay's Head. You have proficiency with the War Pick. If you hit a creature with an attack roll made with a War Pick during the first round of combat, the creature takes an extra 2d6 piercing damage. Look, this thing is numbing my tongue, okay? It's good shit. Num tongue? This next one is very, very, very good for someone on your team that rolls poorly. It's called Instructive Muscle. You are proficient in the athletics skill. When you succeed on an athletics check, you can demonstrate the method to creatures that share a language with you and are watching you. Those creatures are treated as proficient when making athletics checks to perform the same task. So, roll initiative for combat. So basically, if you jump over a river of lava and you succeed, you go, see, that's how it's fucking done. You just like look at the person like, look at me. Look at me. That's how it's done. Do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
In with your knees, not with your back.
Lift and twist while sharply pulling.
Lift the car using your back in a twisting, reeling
A
motion.
sharp, jerking, twisting motion.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, my back.
Next up on the species list, we have the Vulpines. Vulpines? They're foxes. You are still humanoid. Your intelligence score increases by 2. Your walking speed is 30. You have the feature Polar Sense. Vulpines unconsciously favor arranging furniture and other objects in a north-south direction, and sleep with their heads facing north when given the opportunity. You are always aware of magnetic north.
You got a built-in fucking magnet, baby.
Yeah.
I have a question about that.
Uh-huh.
No.
So if you're always aware of magnetic north, because I assume your brain is just predisposed through evolution to sense the magnetic pull, what happens if you get into a magnetically interfering field?
You start singing old folk songs. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. It just scrambles your brain. I would probably assume, if me being the DM were to interpret this, I would personally say that nothing would happen, because in the grand scheme of things, a planet's magnetic field is going to be way fucking stronger than a normal magnet.
Well, it's just there are magnetic fields though that you can take a compass into, and the compass gets super confused. So
True.
I'm not saying it would like mess up their cognitive abilities, but if they entered the field, it'd be like, I don't know where north is anymore. What's happening?
I mean, when you put it like that, I would probably say that instead of just knowing it, they would either have to make a check or a check with disadvantage for maybe like survival or a nature check, maybe depending.
Yeah,
That's kind of a DM question. It seems like that'd be up to the DM.
Yeah, that seems a little situational, and I don't have an
rule
immediate
does
answer
say-
for you because it depends on the situation.
Because the rule does say
just-
you
it was
always
just something-
know.
Yeah,
It doesn't say
something I wanted to bring up.
always, but in this specific situation.
but at the same time, it could be a really fun interaction of this, really cocky player that's like, oh, why, yes, we need to go this way. And it's like, so DM, which way do we need to go? You don't know. What do you mean I don't know? Well, you don't know why you don't know. You just don't know. North is there, and then it's there, and then it's over there, and then it's up there, and now
You're
it's down
a
there.
good DM, you'll just tell them north. You'll tell them which way is north, but lie.
Oh, that's even better.
I could also see that'd be a really cool way to reveal, hey, something's wrong, or it's like a cool twist that kind of gives the players a clue in some way. That's kind of the direction I was thinking of it.
Yeah, that's a fair point, especially if you consider the purposes of this particular module is all dungeon delving, like multiple layers of dungeons. So being able to know magnetic north while underground is a great way to keep you from getting lost.
Guys, we need to go into this dungeon. What's it called? The Magnetic Dungeon of Doom.
Dear God, no.
Dear God. There's more.
Next up, we have a feature called Prolonging Focus. Vulpines are united in their ability to pull extra motes of the supernatural using the raw power of concentration. When concentrating on a spell with a duration of at least 1 hour, you can extend it. At the end of its duration, make a DC 10 intelligence saving throw. On a fail save, the spell ends as usual. Otherwise, the spell continues while you concentrate on it. Every 10 minutes thereafter, you make another intelligence saving throw with a DC equal to 10, plus 2 per 10 minutes the spell has been extended. The spell continues until you choose to stop concentrating on it or until you fail to save. While prolonging your focus in this way, you appear visibly distracted to observers, and if you take damage, the spell automatically ends.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Guessing him probably popped out. He's probably pretty knackered.
Yeah, he said he was gonna go
Oh,
get
yeah, I
some
see.
more rest.
Yeah. Well, I hope he gets better soon. I hate that he was just getting better and then he gets sick again. That sucks.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Vulpine Deduction. A fox connects intuitive dots to make smart decisions in the moment. As an action, you can focus yourself on a closed-ended decision you face. That is, the decision must have a limited set of potential choices. Some examples include which exit to take out of a dungeon room, which suspect to accuse of a crime, or which of 2 pies to make your dessert from.
Oh,
Damn,
how
if
convenient.
only.
Yeah, that's really fucking crucial to all D&D sessions, Kirsten.
If only there was
Oh,
a
the timing.
criminal to accuse.
What, fresh out for you being done with Yule?
No, I'm talking about the old man that I quote unquote assaulted.
Oh. I got it.
Yes, she quote unquote assaulted them.
Yeah.
What she actually meant to say is violently assaulted. But you know. It's
So
okay.
you make a DC 10 intelligence check. If you succeed, the GM tells you something about one of the possible decisions. For example, the east exit seems dangerous. The old man wasn't in town the night of the crime. Or blueberry is a bad flavor for a pie. You will usually learn something cryptic but helpful on a success. Once you use the trait, you cannot use it again until you complete a long rest.
I would agree with that statement. It's very cryptic. Since literally all of this shit's like, blueberry's not a very good flavor of pie. Why?
Yeah, that's like you guys spending 30 minutes trying to open an unlocked door, except you're deciding which fucking pie to get from the Swift songs.
Obviously, one of these pies is the key to unlocking the door.
Clearly, there's a key in this one of these pies. So for the vault vines, there's still technically foxes, but they're from kind of two different regions almost. So you've got the trade winds, which you have a dexterity increase of 1. You are between 5 and 6 feet tall, and you're usually taller than the others, the desert foxes. You also have preternatural sense. You can examine an object for illusions as a bonus action, and you have advantage on investigation checks to detect them. Additionally, when an effect requires you to roll a dexterity saving throw, you can roll an intelligence saving throw instead. Once you substitute a save this way, you cannot do so until you finish a long rest. As a desert fox, you have a constitution score increase of 1. You're a little bit smaller, you're anywhere between 4'3" and 5'3", and you have vigilant senses. By acclimating to unseen fields surrounding you, you can sense if something moves through them. After spending at least 1 hour without moving, you know if a creature enters the area 90 feet around you, and its size category. The feedback is strong enough to awaken you if you choose to let it, and it lasts until you move. So basically, it's a 90-foot spidey sense.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's kind of like Go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking the preternatural sense. It's substituting the dexterity with an intelligence saving throw. Has anyone seen the movie about bike messengers in New York?
I've seen the trailer. I haven't actually watched it.
No, I'm sorry. A movie about bikers is not entertaining to me.
It was actually very entertaining. It had a plot nothing to do with they are bikers in New York. Good movie. If I could remember the title, I would recommend it. But there's this scene where they show the main character is a good biker because when he's about to get hit, he can really quickly think, okay, these are all my areas of escape. Which one's the best way to take? And I just kind of see that as how that would work almost. So that's a very cool ability, I think.
Yeah,
that just made me think of that.
No, that's actually a really good call. You basically, instead of just having the reflexes for it, you have the foresight to see, like, there's some stairs, there's a chair, there's a table, this guy's coming for me. I remember that chair being there. I'm going to get behind it. He's going to trip over it so I can fuck off and get out of here.
Yeah, kind of that almost Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes.
I was going to say there's
moment.
Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
Discombobulate.
Discombobulate. Discombobulate.
Make that reference again.
Discombobulate. It's really weird that we actually had that reference earlier this morning talking about that.
Yeah. I think it was yesterday, but yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Discombobulate. So the first homeland trait that we have for these guys is sense for betrayers. You have proficiency in deception. You also have advantage on insight rolls to determine if someone has secret motives against you. Additionally, by spending 8 hours continuously with someone, you have advantage on insight rolls to sense secret motives against them for the next 24 hours. You were just up this guy's ass, just, I'm watching you.
I don't know you.
Oh.
That's my purse. I don't know you. The next feature that we have is the Aurora tradition. Whenever a spell is cast within 60 feet of you that you can see or hear the components of, you automatically intuit the spell's school. Additionally, when you cast a spell of first level or higher, you can treat the spell as if it were any other school. Once you use this trait this way, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this one is a bit confusing to me. I think the
Oh my
idea...
Goodness.
Yeah.
That's super overpowered for wizards.
Yeah.
So explain what it means, because that did nothing but confuse me.
Okay, so additionally, I'm just going to read it again just so I make sure I have it. Additionally, when you cast a spell at first level or higher, you can treat the spell as if it were any other school. Once you use this trait this way, you can't use it again for a long rest. One of the main features of being a wizard, especially when 5e first came out, is you got this, your subclass is your school of magic. Abjuration, evocation, whatever. All those classes have a built-in mechanic that if you cast a spell within your school, there is a side ability or a way you can kind of change it around because you are specifically studying that school. So with this tradition, you can make any spell you cast in your school, so you can always use that ability.
I guess I
Still don't understand.
So, okay, so a wizard has access to a lot of different kinds of spells. Divination, evocation, that sort of thing. Let's say as your subclass for wizard, you chose to take evocation.
Okay.
One of the features of an evocation wizard, let me actually look one up here real quick to kind
I'm
of give
actually
you...
looking it up right now.
Please, go ahead.
Let's see. Okay, so evocation has an ability called Sculpt Spell. That's second level. You create pockets of relative safety within the effects of your evocation spell. When you cast an evocation spell that affects other creatures that you can see, you choose a number of them equal to 1 plus the spell's level. The chosen creatures automatically succeed on their saving throws against the spell, and they take no damage if they would normally take half damage on a successful save.
Okay.
So you could use that once a day. You can use that ability for any spell.
So essentially what that would allow you to do is that if your party is surrounded by creatures and you cast Fireball, you can say, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, automatically pass your save, everyone else nuked.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
you can now use that feature of that subclass with any spell that you've got once per long rest.
Okay. I guess it would make more sense. It'll make more sense when I start playing like a class that actually uses that.
Right.
Because like I'm going up, what you're saying makes sense, but I'm sitting here like, well, I don't really understand what most of that means. But that's also I haven't started playing a sorcerer yet. Zeke.
I'm working on it. I would say, honestly, I think that ability would be the best for the Abjuration wizards, because their ability is Arcane Ward, and so if they cast a spell of the Abjuration school, they get extra, I think it's extra hit points or like a shield or something around them that helps them take more damage, so they're more protected. So if you're in a bad situation, you have that tradition, you can cast any spell you need to and still get that ability.
Right.
Very good.
And basically, if you didn't have this tradition, you could only use those features if you cast a spell with the Abjuration trait. If you cast something with Evocation, you wouldn't be able to activate those traits.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is a really cool ability.
Yeah. The Volpines have
Can I
some...
share my personal favorite interaction with that?
Abso-fucking-lutely, please.
It takes a little bit of bending the rules for how AoEs work. But if you have like feline frontliners and you're a diviner, you can have like the diet evocation rules. So if you cast Fireball as a divination spell, can't target your feline like monk and fighters say, you get like a diet evocation and just goes around them. It's so niche and silly. Like you can do other fun stuff like enchanters can essentially get once a long rest twin spell, which is cool. But I just like that one just because I like the idea of just like scaring the hell out of your felines who've never seen you do that before.
Oh fuck, that's phenomenal.
Oh, that's right, because divination gets portent, which is where they have like 2 d20 rolls they can use at any time, right?
That too
sounds correct. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny.
I told you guys on the last session, the further we get down these races, the crazier they get. And we haven't hit the crazy ones yet.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later too, Vile. We need to go back up this list to increase that power.
The bunny is very displeased with the bunnies. But let's mosey on through. We still have quite a few that I would like to get through all the races tonight, and I'm going to stay up until it's fucking done. So next up, we have stashed in a foxhole. If you're caught in a situation where your money is inaccessible, for example, if it was stolen or confiscated, you always have some money or something else of value around. It might be in a sewn-in pocket, the heel of your left shoe, or in the form of debt you can collect from someone nearby. The amount available to you is a number of gold pieces equal to twice your level. If you spend the money, it's deducted from your gold total. Once you spend the money conveniently accessed with this trait, you cannot do so again until you regain access to your main source of wealth.
Okay.
Didn't I have your money stolen in Crossroads?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have had to, reenact being Anakin Skywalker if that was the situation.
That was pretty funny, though. The next one in that same homeland region is Position of Strength. You can use any combination of ability and skill to negotiate the cost of goods and services. For example, a Fox bodybuilder might get a discount from a merchant by giving them advice on diet regimen and lifting technique, making an intelligence athletics check, followed by a friendly request to knock a few silver off the price of his breakfast.
So you're a gym bro.
In this particular instance, yes.
Oh,
You gotta use this protein shake, man.
No, man, you're lifting with your knees. You gotta lift with your back.
oh yeah, no, God, that's a horrible idea. Fuck is wrong with you?
Listen, it didn't say you had to give them actually helpful advice.
Yes, but still, fuck you.
It says give them advice. It doesn't say good or bad.
But that's so funny. So you can just mix and match to make sure you have proficiency and your highest stat ability. That's so funny. Oof, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that's really fucking dangerous.
Especially for like a rogue.
It always comes back to rogues. No one ever says like, man, that would be really great for a barbarian. It's like, fuck, if a rogue gets their hands on this, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Just break everything, asshole.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Dune Dagger. Immediately after you cast a spell of first level or higher on your turn, you can make a weapon attack with the dagger. Fireball! Shank!
There's one dude in front of me and a bunch of dudes over there.
So I'm just gonna have to point this out here. You're not thinking outside the box enough. Fireball, dagger, through the fireball. It's now a flaming dagger.
Swan dive.
You know, it
Lightning
says...
bolts.
It does
Lightning
say
bolts.
a weapon attack. It doesn't say melee. So that is true. You could throw the dagger.
Dagger through a lightning bolt. An electrified dagger that grounds your lightning and whatever it hits.
That
The limit is your imagination.
the limit is what your DM will fucking allow. You psychopath.
Listen, just because I think of literally every stupid little minute thing that could actually happen doesn't mean that it's not cool.
I also don't like that the first reaction, the first word that escaped your lips after being told, like, the DM rules all is just, listen.
Let me spin you a tale.
We all know that I come up with stupid shit that breaks the rules. Started with Zeke and it's just continually gone downhill from there.
I just love Zach. You are the epitome of that suction cup man meme. It's like, you are in my realm. You will bow before me. Fuck you.
Fuck you, I'm such a gut man.
Oh, so Vile, to give a little pretense to this.
We don't need to tell him about Suction Cup Man.
No, not that. Fuck you.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you. To give you a little pretense to this, I played my first campaign as a dwarf. For our big first boss fight, Zeke gave us control of characters.
Oh god, let's not.
gave
Do we
me
have to go into
control.
this?
No, it's just, I'm going to end it after this next sentence. He gave me the control of the town weaponsmith. So I took every single weapon that was powerful and cost a shitload of money and gave it to everybody. Done. That's literally what happened.
Nice.
And I regretted
Did they
it
give it
ever
back?
since.
Well, here's the thing. He rolled really high in his persuasion to let us keep it. When I say really high, I mean I'm pretty sure it was a nat 20 plus modifiers.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to go find that clip. I'm sure I had to have made that a highlight, right? It's somewhere. Just that look on his face of motherfucker.
Yeah, the look on Zeke's face when we were on camera was just like, what have I fucking done?
Yeah. He's like, giants are attacking the town. You have control of this guy. You have control of this guy. And Zach goes, all right. For his turn, he's going to go get all the weapons in his shop. As he goes, oh, shit.
And I've never
So let's-
lived it down.
Nope.
Nope, still not gonna live it down. Alright, so next
Right.
next thing
the
to
next
go.
the next homeland feature and the last for the Volpines is cat stuck in the family tree. You have advantage on athletics checks made to swim. Additionally, you have proficiency with the trident, and when you make an attack with a trident against a target you cannot see, you don't have disadvantage on the roll. You're Aquaman. Aquafox.
While cool, I don't get it.
So the Alar, I believe, is the island region of the world.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
theoretically, you would
Okay.
be very fucking comfortable with the water.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Makes more sense now.
Again, that's why I prefaced at the beginning that some of these may not make sense until you get the book and you read about the regions that they're in. Because there's like at least a paragraph before each one of these homeland traits that explains why these traits
Yeah,
are
because
here.
that was my thing. Like you were saying all the homeland traits, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, this guy's wearing this guy's wearing this, and then like all three of these guys lined up, and the last guy's just fucking Aquaman, you know, hair flowing in the wind with fucking trident, wearing bright ass orange, and I'm just like, I don't understand.
Right. So, and Vile can correct me if I'm wrong here, but for example, I believe Alamance is considered to be like rolling green hills and fields. Aurea is more of a wintry, mountainy area. Al-Ar is more like scattered islands. Like, think of a really big like Hawaii chain. There's just islands fucking everywhere. Is kind of that's what these different homelands are for, and why some of these traits make more sense when you realize like, oh, they're around water like their entire fucking life, so they would be proficient with swimming and have a trident that they're great at.
Pretty cool.
So, but I don't want to spoil the whole book because it's an amazing fucking book. Go buy it. Next up, we have the bats. No fancy name, just bats. A fox wearing orange. the color clash with their fur. The color clashes with the fur. Well, you know.
Maybe a white fox. Fuck it.
So, for the next couple of races, I am going to have to touch in their regular lore for some things to make sense. The bats are not from the main, like, realm. They're actually from the Astral Sea. They're kind of ancient, and they don't keep a history. So, basically just like, whatever happened yesterday, well, that's already fucking happened. I'm focusing on now. They're not able to fly, weirdly enough, unless they're in the Astral Sea, and then they have like really, really good maneuverability through there. Let me see, do they actually... Okay, it does touch on that. So, as a bat, your charisma score increases by 2, and your dexterity increases by 1. You stand anywhere between 4 foot 7 inches, 5 foot 7 inches, and your size is considered medium. Your walking speed is 30. Here's the really weird thing, and I'm also Kayla may still be listening, and if you are, pay attention because you'll like this. You have Chiropocket. Pocket. Every bat carries a connection to the Astral Sea while in another world, aka the Beast World. This Chiropocket Pocket is an extraplanar space accessible through the inner membrane of their wings. As a bonus action, you can touch the inside of your wing to open your Chiropocket Pocket or close it again. While it's open, your wings emanate the glow of the Astral Sea, and you can stow or retrieve an item as an action. Your Chiropocket Pocket can hold cubic feet of non-living material up to 12 times your intelligence modifier, minimum of 12 cubic feet. If you attempt to stow living material or an item that's too large, it passes through your wing and falls to the ground behind you. You take any damage that the pocket's contents deal to its interior, so you can't just stuff a stick of dynamite in there and be okay. If you fall to 0 hit points or die, the pocket's contents spill forth unharmed. The space of your Chiropocket Pocket cannot exist in the Astral Sea when your body is also present there. Traveling to the Astral collapses your Chiropocket Pocket and leaves its contents behind in your space the moment you cross over. So basically, Kayla can just go, put it in the wings, you'll lose it. So yeah, you basically are just born with a bag of holding.
pretty cool.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Speaking of the wings, the next feature is wings. While a bat's wings don't allow for flight outside of the astral sea, they can still make an otherwise deadly descent into a breezy float downward. While your arms are free and you are not wearing heavy armor, you can extend your wings to fall at a speed of 30 feet per round. For every foot you descend, you can also move a foot horizontally. This costs movement as normal. So that's one thing. While in the astral sea, bats have a flying speed of 40, regardless of armor worn, and they can hover. So, if I'm reading this correctly, if you are moving horizontally with your wings, as soon as you reach your movement distance, that's it for your round, because it's technically 6 seconds of combat. So you're 30 feet. We got to wait until the next round, and then you can move your next 30 feet, kind of thing. You basically have a built-in feather fall, so long as you're not wearing heavy armor and you're not holding a weapon.
Yeah.
And depending on the stinginess of your DM, I can't remember. I think it's an action to store and draw a weapon, or maybe a bonus action. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think I started saying bonus action and I just said fuck it, I don't care, because it's ruining the flow and it's no fun.
It is a free item interaction.
There you go.
Or object interaction.
I'm just talking out my ass, making up rules that I've already just discredited. So there we go. Next up, we have Astral Echoes. This one again seems a little kind of niche, but also kind of funny at the same time. A bat's voice resonates on 2 worlds at once, and they can speak in the astral tones to listen for what echoes back. As a bonus action, you can emit a sound that's silent in the beast world, but a loud shriek in the astral sea. Anything in the part of the astral sea that crosses within 120 feet of you, such as a creature using the etherealness spell, becomes visible to you until the end of your next turn. While in the astral sea, this ability gives you blind sense out to a range of 120 feet instead. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So very niche, but it could make or break a fight if you're fighting something that just happens to use etherealness. Yeah.
That's true.
I also just like the idea of you're fighting something and you go like, "Ah, I'm dead!" And then fucking astral sea portal rips on. It's like, do you mind? You're shouting in my fucking living room.
I'm dying. Can you die quieter?
Let's see. Next up we have the Astral Sea Practiced Astral Crafter. The pale blue Astra that fills every corner of the astral sea is the indefinite stuff that holds everything in every world. All willful creatures have some rudimentary power to manipulate Astra, but bats, raised in its light, are the true masters of the craft. You can add your proficiency bonus to intelligence checks to perform astral crafting. Additionally, you know the Charles Chunk cantrip, and intelligence is your spellcasting ability for this spell. The new spell is outlined later. We'll cover that in a future Whiskey Wednesdays. Definitely a very interesting kind of class to play. The Astral Sea thing, I should say, is their homeland feature. The Practiced Astral Crafter.
I'm assuming we have to figure out. I'm assuming we have to read some other part of the book to read up on astral crafting.
Probably, if it's what I think it is. And again, reading the lore further up, it's kind of touched on. I'm pretty sure it's been a few weeks since I've read this part and actually like really poured over it. But it's basically you can just will things into existence. Like, wow, this place sure is empty. There's a house there now.
Wait, did you just say you can will things into existence?
Pretty much.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, no, moving on. Anyway, on to the Brethren. The Brethren are basically humans. The humans, to kind of give you a recap, a very, very quick recap. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, think of it how the orcs escaped the Outlands to come to Azeroth. There's a big calamity that was happening. A lot of their technology, if I remember correctly, they don't fully understand how their technology works anymore, to some extent, or it's just really hard to explain. And like you can find what's essentially batteries. I forget exactly what the terminology is that they use for it, but it's a really, really, really interesting read. The Brethren were essentially tricked into coming to the Beast World to conquer, and they were like, "Wait,
Why?
you guys are kind of cool. Why are we fighting?" They're like, "I don't know. You guys came here and hit first. Like, well, we don't want to fight anymore." Okay, you guys want to come live here instead of your shitty home world? They're like, "Fuck yeah!" But as far as the timeline goes, that was 15 years ago. So, generally speaking, most of the willful beasts have forgiven the Brethren, even for if they murder their families. There might be a little bit of animosity, but it's starting to wane, and the Brethren are really kind of starting to take foot in the world. Again, it's a really fucking great read and lore behind it. It's amazing. Do we just become best friends? Yes!
Fuck yeah!
So, shockingly, you are humanoid. Your ability score increase can be... an ability score of your choice increases by 2, or 2 ability scores of your choice increase by 1. Humans vary widely in height and build, from barely 5 feet to well over 6 feet. Regardless of your position in that range, your size is medium. You have 30 feet walking speed, and you gain 1 feet of your choice. Now, as the homeland trait, you have... you have 1. It's called Broken World, Keepsake of a Lost Home. This one's kind of long, but essentially what it boils down to is you have an item from the Broken World where the humans came from. Essentially, it's some handheld item from basically the 1990s, like a Walkman or a flashlight. And some of the examples that they give is like the curio is called a mirror bulb. The real world object it's a flashlight, and its spell effect is the light spell. An immolation cinder is blowtorch, gives you burning hands. Shock needles is a taser, it's firebolt, but it deals lightning damage. Vapor kit is a portable humidifier, create and destroy water. Night watch stake is a motion detector, it lets you do the alarm spell. Reusable light wand, refillable glow stick, gives you fairy fire. Earbug, it's an earpiece and a lapel mic, gives you the message cantrip. So that's just some of the potential items that were given. But basically these objects are able to cast a first level spell, is essentially what that boils down to.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Very, very, very unique feature. Oh, right. The batteries for these objects are called acid buttons. I fucking love that. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. Talk to your DM. I'm sure you can come up with something phenomenal for it. It's a very, very interesting twist on being a human for a change.
Why did I picture one of the fucking like 1990s like jelly grabby hands just being
Oh, the little
fucking mage
slapsticks? That's Mage Hand?
Hey, bud, can you get that thing across the room? Sure.
Yeah!
Amazing.
And like Brick, who mysteriously had it not work the other night, he let go of the other end, just slapped across the room.
You just stuck on the ceiling. You're like, no.
Oh,
Damn it.
So it's very unfortunate that Nim dipped out because of his illness, because now we get to talk about the kobolds.
Kobold.
So the kobolds, again, I'm going to touch on these next few a little bit more than before because they're just so widely different than the rest, and even their equivalent in just normal D&D 5e. So the kobolds are basically like teetering on the edge between quiet-minded and being willful. The playable kobold races are the ones that just happen to cross that threshold and gain a sentient thought. These are the ones that become the leaders of their supposed clans. They're able to organize, and they start to think, there just might be something out there.
Beyond the wilderness.
Yes. Again, there's so much lore behind these things. I don't have the time to cover them all tonight. But we're going to move on into the features. You are humanoid. Your ability score increase is your dexterity goes up by 2, and another score of your choice, except intelligence, increases by 1. So kobolds are anywhere between 3'2" and 3'10". Your size is small. You have 30 feet of walking, and your first kobold trait is Escapers Keepers. You are proficient in the sleight of hand skill. As a reaction to being targeted by an opportunity attack, you can make a sleight of hand check contested by the attacking creature's perception check. If you succeed, the attack misses, and you can take an object worn or carried by the attacker, but not one that they are holding, without them noticing. The object must fit in one hand and weigh no more than 5 pounds. Either way, after using this ability, any creature that can see you, including the target, is immune to this ability for 24 hours. So basically, middle of the fight, you could yoink a health potion out of someone's pocket and go, ooh, jungle juice, and just...
All I can think of is those little barrels.
Little barrels?
But that's what jungle juice was.
Oh,
Juice
yeah,
barrels.
that's right. Yeah.
The little, like, Donkey Kong barrels.
In the middle of the fight, the bad guy's just like, this would be a problem if I didn't have a health potion of superior healing. Where did it go?
Meanwhile, there's just a kobold behind just fucking chugging it. Someone's holding his legs. He's doing a fucking keg stand. Oh, who'd we lose? Kasumi had to dip out. Kirsten dipped out. Oh, well. She has kids. It happens. The next feature that we have is called Clumsy Competence. Unburdened by the paralyzing effects of analytical thinking, kobolds have a way of getting to the solution they seek, even more so if unburdened by intellect. You have a +1 bonus to any ability check you make on which you don't have a bonus other than from your ability modifier. This bonus is +2 instead if your intelligence score is 9 or lower. So basically, you're so dumb, you just succeed.
Orc logic.
Yeah.
Story of my fucking life.
We can't get the generator to work. How about you just punch it?
Yeah,
That's
wow.
not gonna... Oh, wow, it worked.
Huh. Some bitch. The next one's Stackable Intellect. Again, this one seems a little situational, but could be really fucking hilarious at the same time. You gain a bonus to ability checks based on the number of kobolds within 60 feet of you. The bonus is determined by the kobold stacking table below. The number of kobolds goes from 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32 plus. The ability check bonus goes +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. So basically... Huh?
I did not expect to hear Kobold stacking table tonight. This is a trip.
But are you surprised by it?
No, I love it.
It answers the age-old question, how many kobolds does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh, well played.
Also, what I'm hearing is we need to do an all-kobold campaign saving a town of kobolds just to have some really just ridiculous rolls.
Oh,
Just
no.
a fucking totem pole.
Hold on. Marcus has a great point. So my question to this was, it doesn't say living kobolds. So if they are carried around tiny kobold wooden figures, do they gain... I thought you were going to say, is he just around a bunch of corpses? But your question is way, way more tame than what I was saying. A bunch of wooden figures.
Which actually brings up a really interesting idea for a villain. A kobold necromancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no witnesses.
I'm here to kill you. And here's your brother, who's also here to kill you.
So before we get too off track with murder hobo kobolds, the other thing that they have is lesser lineage. So made in the image of their draconic creators, they exhibit characteristics of them. Choose one from the following: acid, fire, lightning, or cold. When you take damage of that type, reduce the damage by 1d6. This reduction increases at 2d6 at 9th level, 3d6 at 17th level. So basically you get just a little hint of your draconic ancestry here, because the kobolds were created by the dragons.
A straight D6 reduction to those types of damages is really good, though. That should not be
Dude,
underestimated.
damage is damage. If you're able to negate something, fucking do it. Now, for you three who are actually in here and looking at my screen, this massive block of red on the side of the screen is the preamble to the last 2 races of the Delver's Guide to Beast World. Basically saying, these races are broken. And they are intentionally broken. This was not an accident.
Yeah.
Basically, DMs beware. While they are not inherently game-breaking, you need to be careful because in the right hands, Zach, they can be very game-breaking.
Unlimited power.
Basically. But at the same time,
Now we're gonna put them together.
they're just so fucking cool. So, first up, let's go ahead and get the jokes out of the way. It's the Jackal.
Jackal. It's Jackal. It's Jackal.
All right, now that that's done, we can move on with our lives. Basically, these are the traditional elves. The jackals, some of the jackals that are still alive today were around 1300 years ago when the deity first decided, hey, those guys walking around on 4 legs would be great to talk to. Yoink! And they basically just they don't die from normal situations. They would have to be killed by external means. So again, there's so much lore for the jackals. That would be a whole other stream to go over. So just their traits are going to take me a good few minutes here. So scooching on, as a jackal, you are a fae. That's huge. A whole person would not work on you. Because you would have to be humanoid for that to work. As an example. So, your ability score increase, your dexterity score increases by 2, your intelligence score increases by 2, and your wisdom score increases by 2.
Jesus, Dad dancing Christ.
When I said that these characters are going to be a bit broken, I wasn't joking. Jackals are considered medium. They stand anywhere between 6'8" and 7'8". Your walking speed is 30. Your first feat is ageless. You are immune to any effect that ages you at an unnatural rate. The next one, I'm going to take a drink of whiskey here, lube up the pipes. Ah, fuck, that's right, it burns. Obscuring Dream. You can cast the Dream spell once with this trait and regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. You can also cast either of those spells using any spell slots you have the appropriate level. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability. When you cast Dream, instead of causing a messenger to appear in a creature's dream, you can cast a mental fog over their recollection of any encounter with you. They are unaware that they are the target of the spell, but it fails if you made a jarring impression on the creature during the encounter. Kasumi. Such as fighting them or using strange magic. Otherwise, yeah, well, she's not here to defend herself, so. Otherwise, the target must make an intelligence saving throw equal to, or with a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. A creature with an intelligence score lower than yours automatically fails the save. If you have a body part, tuft of fur, clipping from a claw, or similar portion of the target's body, the target makes its saving throw with disadvantage. On a failed save, the creature forgets that you were present in their memory of an encounter up to 1 hour long that happened within the last 7 days. The event isn't erased, but your identity becomes a missed detail in the target's long-term memory. On a successful save, the memory is unaffected and you cannot use the spell to alter the same memory again.
Huh.
So, the lore with these guys is basically they've been around so long, they kind of live on the outskirts, and they occasionally come in to help, but they don't like being in the limelight. So they're basically like, yeah, we'll help you. Or what's the penguins thing? You didn't see anything.
Didn't see anything. It just slides under the manhole.
Yeah. So that's more or less kind of what's happening here. Any questions on that before we scooch on?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
I like it.
Cool. Next up, we have Life's Passion. You gain proficiency with one artisan's tool of your choice and in one skill chosen from the following: Arcana, History, Medicine, Nature, or Religion. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make using either of these proficiencies. Additionally, you gain proficiency with one martial weapon without the heavy property, which counts as a finesse and thrown weapon for you, range of 20 to 60. I should also mention again that these are basically the elves, so as they get older and they mature, they get an obsession, and that's why they have these proficiencies, because they're just so hard into studying this. They are literal experts in these realms, that's why they get these bonuses. Next up, we have Birthmates of the Arcana. The Seeley's uplifting of the jackal species coincided with the nursing of the infant Arcana, and their fundamental connection to it grants them spell-like abilities. You know the Eldritch Blast can't... The Eldritch Blast!
Eldritch Blast!
Additionally, choose 2 first-level spells with the ritual tag from the wizard spell list. You can cast each of them with this trait, ignoring any material components without an indicated cost. Once you cast either chosen spell with this trait, you cannot cast a spell with it again until you finish a long rest. You can, however, also cast any of those spells using any spell slots you have of the appropriate level. Intelligence is your spell casting ability for these spells when you cast them with this trait. If you cast them with just a regular spell slot, you use whatever the spell tells you to use. So yeah, the scary thing, they're still not the most broken race in this game. We're getting to them.
Yeah.
So it seems that they do not have homeland traits, though. Not that they need them. I'm just
Correct.
making an observation as
Well,
far as I can see.
Because they kind of exist everywhere. Like you remember how we were talking about your custom race and how their city was sort of like hidden in illusion?
I mean, it was underground, but yeah.
Well, it's basically Hominoptera from The Mummy. Like their city is physically there, just no one remembers that it's there, or they just literally cannot see it. That's kind of how the magic works, if I remember reading that correctly. And considering the vial hasn't piped up yet, I'm assuming that I'm correct, so we're going to go with that. But hey, I could be wrong.
I don't necessarily know if you're correct in every case. Believe it or not, it's a big book. I haven't read it all the way through either just yet.
Well, so there you go. Buy the book, read it, leave a comment, let me know how I fucked up. I will never learn unless you tell me otherwise.
Prove us wrong.
Yes.
Fucking on it.
Oh, God. And Metal's just dedicated enough to fucking do it, too. All right. So, moving on to the dragons. These guys have some really, really cool roleplay potential. And a lot of that has to do with basically when you were born, you don't have a color. Your color comes from what you do with your life. So, as an example here, gold and red are the same under the scales. Every dragon is hatched between 2 extremes, as a glassy creature known as a hyaline dragon. These newborns have translucent skin and organs. Only the beating crimson heart is visible within the baby. Hyaline dragons begin to show one of 2 possible colors based on their moral decisions. Thus, every new generation, a chromatic tyrant's child has the potential to demonstrate kindness and earn lustrous scales like a metallic dragon. So, that's all I'm going to touch on because there's so much more, but theoretically, your colors could change. Like, if you start a campaign, generally speaking, as you get older as a dragon, your color is far less likely to change. But if you want to play a younger dragon, and let's say you start off as a metallic and you're like, yes, I am good and everything, I'm a paladin, blah, blah, blah. But you join a crew of, fucking idiot rogues and bards, and you're like, well, I kind of like what they're doing. Partway through the campaign, your colors, you could go back to being translucent as you were changing colors to a more chromatic shade to kind of reflect the fact that you are being corrupted by these degenerates. It's a very, very cool option to have roleplay wise. It's like the DM's like, oh yeah, you wake up and you can see through your hand.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Moving on into their traits. As a creature type, you are a dragon. That's really fucking interesting. Because there's a lot of spells that say humanoid or beast and such. And as your creature type being a dragon, that can theoretically make you immune to quite a few spells.
Yeah.
So, for your ability score increase, an ability score of your choice, other than the one increased by your subspecies, increases by 2. And we'll get to the subspecies here in a minute. You are medium sized. You have 30 feet of walking speed. Flight. You have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. Again, DMs be careful. Flight is really broken in the early levels. It can really negate a lot of the beginner level fights where verticality isn't a problem yet. So just keep that in mind. Next up, we have natural weapons. Your tails, claws, and teeth are natural weapons, which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with one of them, you deal damage equal to 1d8 plus your strength modifier instead of the normal damage for an unarmed strike, which is usually 1 plus your strength modifier. Your tail deals bludgeoning damage, your claws deal slashing damage, and your bite deals piercing damage. Additionally, when you make an attack action on your turn, you can make it a tail, claw, or bite attack as a bonus action. Or you can make a tail, claw, or bite attack as a bonus action. So you can attack with a greatsword, just hang on.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
We've got natural armor next. Your scales are a source of protection as well as pride. When you are not wearing armor, your AC is 13 plus your dexterity modifier. You can use your natural... Yeah. You can use your natural armor to determine your AC if the armor you wear would leave you with a lower AC. A shield's benefits apply as normal while you use your natural armor. So I think I mentioned this before when we were talking about the armadillos, but basically if you had a mariner's leather armor, which gives you a swim speed of 30 feet, if that AC is lower than your 13 plus dex, you still get your 13 plus dex and the benefits of that. For anyone else, you would actually lower your AC by wearing the armor, because it would be considered like restricting or something. And I don't know. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very broken. Because I mean, if you have a +5 to your dex, that's 18 AC, just bog standard.
Yeah. Sure.
Now this last one, Unreal Potential. Your maximum for all ability scores is 22.
Damn.
All of them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that you can get all of your ability scores to 22.
But you can get a primary and maybe a secondary if you play your cards right.
I think you would only be able
based
to
on the
get...
subraces.
I think you would only be able to get 2 to 22. I think.
I mean, that depends on how well you roll for your ability scores. If you're doing, unless you're doing point buy.
Yeah, if you're doing the rolled ability score where you roll 4d6 and pick the 3 highest, and you just happen to get 3 6s, and then you've got your +2 from your your ability score increase as a dragon. Yeah, you could maybe get 3. I don't know, maybe. So, the next one that we have is the Draconic Lineage. Instead of choosing a homeland trait when creating a dragon character, first select a subspecies, or color, and then choose a lineage. Subspecies determines the focus of a dragon's natural talents, while lineage determines a dragon's breath weapon, special movement options, and energy resistance. Choose a lineage whose traits are outlined below: Cove, Flatland, Glacier, or Volcano. So, there's a lot more to go through, but it's kind of cool. So, as a monarch, as a red or gold dragon, your charisma score increases by 3. You get crown and scepter. You're proficient in the intimidation and persuasion skills. You have the ruler of dragons trait. Millennia of magic and breeding have culminated in unquestioned privilege. A monarch dragon's natural gift is simple: power over other dragons. You have advantage on attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks made against dragons and to resist their abilities. You have presence, which monarch dragons can gather their otherworldly demeanor and project themselves to terrible or inspiring effect. As an action, creatures you choose within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw with a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus your charisma modifier. If a creature's saving throw is successful or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to your presence for the next 24 hours. If they fail, they suffer one of the following effects for 10 minutes. Frightening presence, you're basically scared. You have the fear put on you. You drop what they're holding and become frightened for the duration. If the creature ends its turn in a location where it doesn't have line of sight of you, it can make another wisdom saving throw. Or majestic presence. This expression is something more basic than the parlor trick of enchantment mind fiddling. You are a fundamentally trustworthy force in the world. Creatures under this effect are charmed by you and regard you as a wise and discerning leader. Again, there's going to be a lot to go through here, so I'm just going to touch on a few things. There's a whole lot of nuances to being a dragon here. Dragon magic, you can cast the command spell with this trait. Once you reach 5th level, you can also cast the summon subject spell with it. Again, a whole bunch more going on with there. I may skip over some of these. As a bulwark, a white or silver dragon, your constitution increases by 3. You have the layer builder feat, which white and silver dragon minds are the master of creation. Whenever you gain a tool proficiency, you also gain a second tool proficiency of your choice.
Oh, wow.
This brittle shield scales. Your scales have a hard exterior shell that breaks away to protect you. Whenever you finish a long rest, you gain temporary hit points equal to 5 times your proficiency bonus and a +2 bonus to AC. Additionally, your scales turn away trivial sources of damage. You take no damage from any single effect that deals less than 4 damage. Once you reach 11th level, the threshold increases to 6. You lose this immunity and the bonus to AC once you fall below your maximum hit points, and you don't regain them until you finish a long rest. So basically, so long as you have those temporary hit points, your AC is +2. Once you lose those temporary hit points, you're back to your normal AC.
Still very good.
It's very fucking good. Very fucking broken. Again, dragon magic for these guys. You get the shield spell, and at 5th level, you get you can also cast the bulwark of scale spell. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Spell. Next up, we have the dancing, or the green and copper. Your dexterity increases by 3. You have masterpiece of movement. Dancing dragons are born with supernatural agility and body awareness. You are proficient in the acrobatics and performance skills. You've got body of grace. Your natural weapons have the finesse property. When you reach 11th level, your natural weapon attacks score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20. You've got contorted breathing. This is going to make a little bit more sense when we actually get into the breath weapons. You may be able to just interpret it because, you're all smart people. You can bend your breath weapon into a unique shape depending on your lineage, outlined later in the section. For Cove, you can choose the radius of your acid breath's splash up to the maximum for your level. Volcano, you can exclude creatures of your choice from your fire breath. Flatland, the line of your lightning breath can change direction twice. A creature can only be affected once by the line.
Damn.
Oh.
Glacier.
You heard Zach's gears turning
Yeah,
and
just-
immediately
yeah.
just get bitch slapped.
No, it's still good, but like,
Yeah. The panels created by your ice breath do not need to be contiguous. Again, I'll come back to these once we actually get to the breath weapons, and we'll kind of use them as reference.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm a little confused on the last one, but sure.
It'll make sense, I promise. Dragon magic, you get the Long Strider spell, and when you reach 5th level, you get the Perfect Respiration spell. As a scholar, black or bronze, your intelligence increases by 3, and you have Ancestral Librarian. The scholar dragon's eyes are born to drink in the wisdom of the written world. When you gain proficiency in Arcana, History, Medicine, Nature, or Religion, you also gain proficiency in another one of these skills. Additionally, you read at 5 times normal speed and can copy spells into a spell book at 5 times normal speed.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Just
I have a page of notes and it's done. What?
Yeah.
It's done. What? I
Hold
finished
on.
it. What do you
I
mean?
barely wrote my name on the page. What are you doing?
Just pulls out like this beautifully calligraphy written page. It's just like, yes, I also enunciated all of the words.
Oh, I was out of my red ink, so I had to mix mine yellow and orange. I don't fucking know how you make red. My brain's too buzzed out from this fucking whiskey.
The lore question I can't answer. Red is a primary color. You can't mix it.
Excuse you, I am the DM and this is a fantasy world. You subtract the yellow from the orange and make red again. I have
You
spoken.
got me there. You got me there.
As a professional painter, I say bull fucking shit.
That is the second time I've been called on my bullshit by one of the guys from Heartleaf. Fucking love it.
They pull no punches.
So long as you can give as good as you can get, we're all good. This next one is, God, it's fucking broken, but I love it. So it's called Altered Arcana. You gain 2 metamagic options of your choice from the sorcerer class. You can only use 1 metamagic option on a spell when you cast it, unless the option says otherwise. Whenever you reach a level that grants the ability score improvement feature, you can replace one of these metamagic options from another one from the sorcerer class. You gain 4 sorcery points to spend on metamagic, which are added to any you have from another source. You regain all spent sorcery points when you finish a long rest. When you reach 11th level, you gain another metamagic option from the sorcerer class and 2 more sorcery points for a maximum of 6 from this trait.
Yeah, just convert your spell slots real fucking quick.
Well,
God damn.
I don't know that you can use that feature. Because it's basically saying you get...
option.
Well, the metamagic is one of the metamagic options to sacrifice your spell slots or your sorcery points to make spell slots, or is that another feature of the sorcerer class that has nothing to do with
I thought
metamagic?
that was a feature.
I think
Pretty
that's a
sure.
meta magic trait. It goes either way. Sorcery points to spell slots and vice versa, I believe.
Well, fair enough. I haven't gotten the chance to play a sorcerer yet, so I'm a little fuzzy on those details.
Kip knows better.
Let me double
Didn't you die twice?
What's that?
I said, didn't you die twice?
Shut up.
For their dragon magic, they get the Identify spell without requiring a material component, and 2 other first level spells from the wizard spell list with this trait. Once you reach 5th level, you can cast the Draconic Lucubration spell and 2 additional spells up to 3rd level from the wizard spell list. Some of those spells are probably going to be covered later on in the book, and we'll touch on them at a later date, and if I remember, we'll come back and be like, oh, that's what that fucking meant.
I'm going to cut back in real quick. Depending on how you read the rules, Font of Magic is what lets you create spell slots. It's often married with meta magic because obviously it's in the same class, so it's usually in the same breath, but they are technically 2 separate abilities.
Then I would personally rule that no, you could not
I just
sacrifice your
misunderstood
spell
what
slots.
magic is. I'm gonna go sit in the corner now.
Well, magic with the corner and the spell slots and the pudding pops. No, so like meta magic is like increasing the range of a spell, increasing the damage that it can deal, increasing the amount of creatures that can be targeted, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got the Whispering. They're blue or brass dragons. Your wisdom score increases by 3. The first feature is Listening in Shadows. Whispering dragons blend into shadow. They excel at spotting prey and overhearing secrets. You're proficient in the stealth and perception skills. They've also got True Hearing. You can hear sounds ignoring up to 2 feet of stone or material of a similar obstruction. When you reach 11th level, you can also focus yourself as an action to listen in at uncanny distances. You can hear sounds as if you were standing in any space you choose within 300 feet of you. This ability ignores solid objects, gotta scroll back up, of any material and thickness, but does not defeat the silence spell. So basically, you could be in a noisy tavern and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna just go, quote unquote, sit at that table over there. Just shush a second. Next up, they have Venomous Claw. Your claws are finesse weapons. When you hit a creature with a natural attack made with your claws, you can deliver a shock of poison into the wound. The target must make a Constitution saving throw equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus your dexterity bonus. On a failed save, it takes an additional 1d12 poison damage and is poisoned for 1 hour. On a successful save, it takes half damage and is not poisoned. When you reach 11th level, if they fail a save by 5 or more, the target is also unconscious while poisoned in this way. The creature wakes up if it takes damage, or if someone uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper. Who would actually take the option of shaking if you have slap as the other one?
I can imagine some kitty cat having the restraint to like not swipe their claws across their friend's face. I don't know.
I guess it depends on if they actually like their party member or not. Once you use this ability, you cannot use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Their dragon magic, they get the Illusory Script, and at 5th level, they get Discern the Heart's Hoard, which again, I do believe is a...
Thank God you didn't fumble that one, I'll be honest.
What, Discern the Heart's Hoard? Yeah, somehow I was able to say that, but I couldn't fucking say... anyway. So...
I just want to cut in real quick and say, and Vile, you can pass this on to the rest of the team. I think it's a really interesting choice to make the blue dragons, at least for the chromatics, the kind of whispering, conniving, in the shadows type of dragon. And I think that's interesting because of a little fun fact I know about ninjas, which is we think of ninjas as wearing all black in modern media. It was actually far more common for them to wear blue because it was still good for blending into shadows and crowded areas, but it wasn't as ostentatious as wearing black. So I thought that was a really cool... I don't know if that's where that came from or if y'all had a similar idea or if it was just out of the blue, but I just think that's really an interesting little tidbit.
It seems like the kind of thing Colin might do on purpose. But he's in the server, and I'm sure he'll listen to this, so we'll probably get his thoughts sooner or later.
Which is also, I do have to chime in as well, which I do find very interesting, because to be completely honest with you, myself included, World of Warcraft inspires a lot of draconic traits. Usually a lot of people who I talk to that have to do with dragons, blue is always has to do with magic. Black usually has to do with earth, red is always fire, yellow is always time and or time dilation magic, and green is always sleeping magic. And for somebody to go completely polar opposite is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, in the same
I
vein
might
as
be
that,
wrong about this. I'd hate to call someone a Warcraft player if I'm wrong, but I think of us, Lexi is the only one with the history in Warcraft, so that subversion's more on accident, I think.
That's okay.
Now,
I
to be a total dick, the other option is they just ran out of colors to go with brass and it was blue.
No. It's because brass tarnished. No, it's copper that tarnishes. Yeah, I don't know. No idea.
Well, no,
another interesting
brass
thing.
tarnishes greenish blue, doesn't it? Hold on. Go ahead, Zeke. I'll look it up.
Copper when I said that. I don't know.
But I think it's actually really cool that you guys, because there is a kind of sliding scale for dragons in D&D 5e of intelligence to animalistic nature, and on that scale, white and blue are kind of on the more animalistic side, if I'm not remembering correctly, and green is the more conniving. But you guys just went a totally different direction, and I love the direction you took with it.
I'm mostly happy with it because white dragons have always been kind of lame to me. And I
Yeah.
feel like they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
if you're up in the mountains and you see a dragon, you need to be like scared shitless, not like, those are the dumb ones. No worries.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are the
yeah.
hillbilly cousins we don't talk about. So brass does turn a blue-green color when it patinas.
There you go.
Yep. Honestly, if I had to say, I think jumping back on what you guys were saying, the white dragons I feel are some of the scariest ones to me. Just I don't know,
In
their
this,
ability
or
to
you
just
mean in just
freeze
regular
shit.
You talking about
Well,
regular D&D or
in
this?
D&D.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I feel like the big thing is that when you make a dragon animalistic, you kind of just like have a big lizard. Like I feel like it loses the
Yeah,
draconic.
That's
Je ne sais
fair.
quoi.
Because generally speaking, if you're playing as a DM, if you were using a dragon, the dragons are supposed to be smart as fuck. They are going to know which one of you is the healer, and they are going to go for the healer first. The white dragons, not so much. They just kind of do whatever they want and just like foaming at the mouth and yeah. So fair point.
I will say though, I think that creates an interesting dichotomy of, like I said, the sliding
Ooh,
scale of
big
intelligence to animalistic. Thank you. But it's when you're dealing with a green dragon, you know it's going to be conniving. You know it's got an angle. You know it's got a dagger
It's gonna
behind
be
its
tricksy.
back. But
Yep.
when you're dealing with a white dragon, it's completely unpredictable. It is super animalistic. You can't really predict what it's going to do because in one moment it might be actually using that intelligence that it does innately have because it is a dragon, but anything's going to set it off and you don't know what that button's going to be.
Yep. So gonna scooch on to lineage traits.
Yeah.
So for the Cove lineage, you are amphibious. You have swimming speed equal to your walking speed. You can breathe air and water. With your acidic scales, you have resistance to acid damage. And for your acid breath, your breath weapon is a targeted burst of acid that destroys objects. As an action, you can exhale a focused spray of acid targeting a creature or object you can see within 30 feet, which splashes in a 5-foot radius on impact. The target, as well as each creature and object within 5 feet of it, must make a dexterity saving throw equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus your constitution or dexterity, your choice. The target takes 4d4 acid damage on a failed save, or half as much on successful. Each creature and object within 5 feet of the target takes half damage on a failed save, but no damage on a successful one. Acid breath does double damage to objects and structures. So the range and damage and splash radius of the breath goes up. So at first level, your range is 30 with 4d4 damage and 5 feet splash. At 5th level, it's 60 feet, 8d4, and 10 feet of splash. At 11th level, 90 feet, 16d4 damage, and 15-foot splash radius. And at 17th level,
Repeat that.
hold on. At 17th level, it's 120-foot range, 32 d4, and 20-foot splash radius. Does anybody even actually own 32 d4s? I'm pretty sure if you
but I'm
tried
sure
to roll
you can
all those
roll
at
them.
once on D&D Beyond, you would crash the entire website.
If someone does, though, hang on, guys. Let me get my D4 collection. They come back with like a big ornate wooden box. Just
All my
dump it all
friends
out.
told me
If-
it was insane to have this many D4s. Who's laughing now, fuckers?
If anybody that is listening to this has 32 d4s, take
Let
a
me get my
picture.
fucking bag of caltrops.
Take a picture and send it to us. Let us know, please. I want to see this.
That's
So-
some like Laura Bailey on Critical Role.
I don't even
stuff.
think Laura Bailey would have 32 d4s.
I mean, to be fair, I do have 8.
Yeah, 8 is not 32. So, with that being said, I do want to scroll back up while we're thinking on it for the Cove Dragon. With the contorted breathing, you can choose the radius of your acid breath's splash up to the maximum for your level. So, what that sounds like to me is a 30-foot range, make the splash radius 5, but you're still doing 32 d4 damage. I mean,
Yeah.
it gives you a lot more control. Maybe not just outright killing your teammates. Meh? No? Anyone? Just
Or
me? Okay.
at the opposite
Acceptable.
end, you get a larger radius at lower levels.
No. You choose the radius up to your level.
Oh, up to your level. Okay.
Yes. You can choose the
Gotcha.
radius of your acid breath splash up to the maximum of your level.
Well, never mind.
God, you don't listen.
I don't.
So, Flatland, Voltaic Arc. You can connect yourself with the destination through a flash of light as an action, teleporting yourself up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. Once you use this ability, you cannot use it until you finish a short or long rest. You have insulated scales, giving you resistance to lightning damage, and your lightning breath. Your breath is a weapon. Your breath weapon is a bolt of lightning that shocks enemies into dropping their weapons. As an action, you can exhale lightning forming a line 30 feet long and 5 feet wide. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus your constitution or dexterity, your choice. The creature takes 2d10 lightning damage and drops whatever metal objects it is holding on a failed save. On a successful save, it takes half damage and does not drop its held objects.
Funnily enough, that flub that you had where you said your breath is a weapon, I'm pretty sure I've been told that. Carry on.
Really got to slow down on the onions, buddy. The damage and length increase based on on the lightning breath table below. You can use your breath weapon a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So the interesting thing here, and I don't think I touched it with the acid one, is when it says that the saving throw is constitution or dexterity, your choice, that means you as a player get to pick what the save is. So keep that in mind.
That guy looks pretty rogue-like. Constitution save.
Hey, look, there's a kobold over there. Constitution.
So, first level lightning breath, 30-foot range, 2d10 damage. At 5th level, it's 60 feet, 4d10 damage. 11th level is 90 feet with 8d10 damage. And at 17th level, it's 120 feet, 16d10 damage.
Guys, I'm gonna have to be right back. Gotta go clean a mess.
So if we scroll back up to them, your lightning breath can change direction twice, but the creature can only be targeted twice.
Once.
Once, sorry. It can only be targeted once. Huh.
You got my hopes up, goddammit! Don't fucking do that!
I floated, I'm
Also-
sorry.
I have to go back up to what was the first ability for the lightning dragons?
Oh, Voltaic Arc?
That is some Batman stuff right there. Like, cuckoo, big flashlight. Where'd he go? I'm behind you.
I'm Dragon Man. So the next one up we have is the Glacier. Tunneling horns. You have a burrowing speed of 15 feet. You also have icy scales, which gives you resistance to cold damage. And your cold breath is... This one's interesting. I feel like this one may have the potential of really causing the DM some headaches. Your breath weapon is a roar of supercooled air that creates an ice wall. As an action, you can form a wall with 2 separate panels, each 10 feet on a side, within 30 feet of you. Each panel must be contiguous with another one, meaning it has to be touching. The wall is 1 inch thick and lasts for 1 minute. If the wall cuts through a creature's space when it appears, the creature within its area is pushed to one side of the wall and must make a Constitution saving throw equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus your Constitution or Dexterity modifier, your choice. The creature takes 1d8 cold damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. The wall is an object that can be damaged and thus breached. Each 10-foot section has an AC of 12 and 5 hit points and is vulnerable to fire damage. The damage, range, size, and duration of the wall increase based on the cold breath table below. You can use your breath weapon in equal amount to your proficiency bonus, and everything comes back after a long rest. So, what that is saying with the the modifier with the contorted breathing, the panels created by your ice breath do not need to be contiguous, which means that they no longer need to be touching when they are created. So at first level, you can build these at 30 feet, 1d8 damage, and you can build 2. At 5th level, 60-foot range, 2d8, 3 cubes. At 11th level, 90 feet, 4d8, and 4 cubes. At 17th level, 120 feet, 8d8 damage, and 5 cubes.
I have a question, because I don't remember... Did it say it had to be vertical?
An ice wall? Generally speaking, a wall is vertical.
I'm just saying, like, what if you're in a dungeon, you go up, and there's a hole in the ground, and you're like, we need to block this off. Ice wall across the hole.
That's not technically a wall. Me, myself, I would have to rule that as a no. Now, if you want to be tricksy and you have a sheep with you, I would say you could make the wall just 15 degrees a little...
Okay, so wait, no. Hold one second here. So you can make the wall, but it doesn't say the wall's held up by anything. So what's saying you can't just push the wall over?
Huh?
That is a great...
The ice.
Good luck.
So,
create the wall.
hold on. So we may have to do some really tricky math with that because it's 10 feet to a side, so it's 10 by 10, and it's 1 inch thick. So who out there that's listening to this or is in this call that knows how to do the math to weigh ice that's 1 inch thick, 10 feet by 10 feet? Figure that out for me.
Sure. Weight of ice.
Just a very generic Google search.
Well, I mean,
ice is ice.
I know.
100 grams per... Wait. 1 gram per milliliter. So what are the dimensions?
10 by 10 by 1. 10 feet by 10 feet by 1 inch.
10 feet. Inch. That's 236 liters. 236 liters of water, 2 grams.
Well, is that necessarily going to be the same?
That's
with
200.
ice?
That's 236 kilograms. Yes.
236 kilograms.
236 kilograms of ice.
What's that to freedom units?
236 kilograms to pounds. 520 pounds.
Jesus!
I move that shit daily at work. Fuck it, I can take care of that.
500 pounds at one go?
Bitch, I lift fucking 1,000-pound pallets.
With a
Without
jack?
if I need to. No!
You do not lift 1,000 pounds. That is some horse shit.
Lift is a strong word. Rearrange is more accurate.
Okay, whatever. Moving on.
You do have a push weight in your stats. That is something you can calculate with your strength score.
No, now that I do understand. What I'm calling him on is his bullshit of real life lifting and pushing that shit without a jack.
I won't comment on lifting 1,000.
But no, that is actually a very feasible. I would say that's a very feasible option because you do have like the bovines and the cervines were the elks, I believe, that had their push, carry, and lift and all that counted as a large creature, which would more or less double what they're able to do.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, who's to say that not more than one person can be pushing it?
That's
True.
also a good point.
The problem that I'm also seeing here is that it's only an inch thick. That's going to be very fragile. And it's 10 feet on a side. You're not going to be able to just like suction cup your face to it and lift it that way. Like you're going to have multiple people, and the chance of it actually staying together is not high with it being an inch thick. You would have to come up with a very, very compelling argument for why that would work.
Or that it does have like a health value and an AC.
True.
So for its integrity, it's just suspension of disbelief. It's Dragon Ice, it's probably special.
Yeah, see?
You know,
see?
fair enough.
He's on my side. Fuck you.
Ultimately, DMs are real cool, I guess.
Everyone who's ever watched our sessions knows that I am the firmest believer in the rule of cool. If you can make it sound awesome, I'm gonna let that shit happen.
I just want to point out, Brick has a push, drag, or lift weight of 540 pounds.
See? Brick can do it.
You just made it with 20 pounds to spare, Megan. You can maybe push back a taco or two. There you go.
20
slowly lowered it
All right. So I think this might be the last one. This is the last one. Volcano. You get superheated tailwind. Your flying speed increases by 10 feet, and you can hover. You have searing scales, which gives you resistance to fire damage, and of course, you have fire breath. Your breath weapon is a cone of fire that devastates a wider area than other breath weapons. As an action, you can exhale fire in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw with a DC equal to 8, plus your proficiency, plus your constitution or dexterity, again, your choice. The creature takes 3d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Like the others, the damage and range increase based on the fire breath table below. You can use your breath weapon a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Good God. At first level, Jesus fuck, 15-foot range, 3d6 damage. At 5th level, it's 30 feet, 66 damage.
That's pretty strong.
At 11th level, it's 60-foot range, 12d6 damage.
Fuck.
17th level is 90 feet, 24d6 damage.
Damn! My lord, yes?
Pass me the Tabasco sauce!
See an angry mob in front of me. Yes, my lord? I don't want to anymore. Yes, my lord.
My lord, bring me my countryside razors.
But I mean, just think about that. With the contorted breathing, you can exclude creatures of your choice from your fire breath. A 90-foot fucking cone! You just say, yeah, those guys, don't worry about those guys.
I just bent it around them, it's fine.
Jesus
After reading this whole section about dragons, I really just want to do a 11th level battle royale between all people playing dragons, just to see all of this stuff in action.
Well, we've been going for almost 2.5 hours. There is dragon magic, but I think I'm going to save that and cover it whenever we go over the spells in a later episode. There's not a whole lot of them, but again, this is probably the longest Whiskey Wednesdays we've ever had. So I think now is about the time that's kind of good to take a pause on this.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Vile, for popping in and calling us on our bullshit when the need arose. We will be back in the next 2 weeks to cover more of this module. Again, it's called The Delver's Guide to Beast World. If you're not already in the Discord and you want to join and you want to have a voice in what we go over next, pop in, look for the Whiskey Wednesday suggestion chat. I'm going to be putting up a poll probably tonight or tomorrow to figure out which section we're going to cover next. It'll either be, let's see, what did I have on there? Muppet movie. Nope, more Muppets. Scrolling up a little bit further. Subclasses or magic items and spells. So if there's one of those that sounds even cooler to you and you want to see them first, pop in and let us know. Anyone else got any closing things they want to talk about?
I just want to shout out, I don't think you should have skipped the Muppet movie chapter. I think that's a really compelling part of the...
Well, it's not that we've skipped it. We haven't gotten to that chapter yet. And I will be
Okay,
talking
right,
to Cullen about why there's not a Muppet race in this book.
We're saving the best for last.
Volume 2.
So we do not have D&D this week.
Badly.
The next session is still up in the air. We're not 100% sure if everyone's going to be around to play right before the Christmas holidays. I think we'll be okay. But keep an eye on Instagram. Keep an eye on the Discord. We'll let you know when we finally decide when we're going to be having our next session. Other than that, you guys got anything else you want to plug or talk about?
In the Discord.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Welcome to any newcomers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Go along.
Bye.